It's Tuesday, October 22nd, and we're going to talk about killing it.
Yes!
Yay! So, was an interesting discussion yesterday. We'll get into a bit more of bullying today. We're going to have a kid get beat up in just a moment.
Yay!
And then we'll go from there. So, book-wise, I'm getting ready to toss books to you guys here in just a second. The copy of the book you guys get is going to look like this with some dude's chest on it. The copy of the book I have is going to look slightly different. It's the one that's over here on that side. Same book, it's just different editions when they come out. I'm going to toss book to you. It is your book. You paid for it already. You get to love it, keep it, cherish it, stuff like that. You'll bring it back at the beginning of each day. And then I'm also going to give you a little post-it note to go on there too, where you're going to want to write your name and then my name and then the class period, because if you lose the book you have to spend $10 to buy a new one, and I'm guessing you probably don't want to lose the book, so hopefully that helps you out a little bit, and I'll chuck the book at you.
Are you saying we shouldn't shower?
Yes, I'm definitely saying those words. Hi, Ben.
Can I write what is protagonist? I'm gonna tell Mr. Brovicast.
So, your information on there. One, I highly recommend not leaving the post-it note on the front cover because it's going to get ripped off and lost. You're welcome to ignore me. I'm just trying to help you not be the kid that gets in trouble later. This doubles as a bookmark, so that way you can move it as you go through. You can also even write on there whenever we have like pages or chapters due. Hopefully it helps you out a little bit along those lines. But yeah, this is your book. You'll just need to bring it back each day as we go through. With your highlighter, as we go through, what I'm going to have you do as part of our first assignment is you're going to be connecting what happens in this book to your life in some way. The first chapter, exposition, they're introducing characters and giving you background knowledge. So I'm just going to have you highlight things that connect to you or people in your life. Like if there's a scene, and I'll tell you as I connect in my life, but if there's a scene where it says like, Bobby rolled his eyes at me, you can highlight that one, but my younger sister rolls her eyes too. Or if it says like, Joey was smoking cigarettes, you can highlight that and put my weekend activities. And so whatever it is, you're going to find those connections to you, and I'll give you my sort of connections as we go through. I will officially assign the homework next week. We're going to go through there and find 10 of the ones you highlighted that you like, and you're going to expand on it. Hi, Eden.
Wait, so do we have to write next to the highlight?
If you want to help you out. If you don't remember why you highlighted the cigarettes, if you can't remember it's because of your hobbies or because of that one guy you hate, then you might want to write next to it, but that's up to you. So you smoke the cigarettes, okay.
No, I don't.
You're like, what? I don't hate people. I'm like, oh, I guess that makes it the other answer then.
It's 180 pages.
No, it's 180 pages.
Wait, there's 180 pages?
So there's 180 pages.
No, but there's 24 pages.
pages?
Why is there 24 pages?
It's okay. You keep being special.
You spelled migration wrong.
It says 24.
Right. So as we go through this, we're just sort of giving you that same information to help you out from there. So the story is going to start off with talking about this guy who I'm assuming most of you probably don't know. He is an actor from a long time ago named Paul Newman. He was known for being hunky-hunky, sort of the 1960s and 70s version of Ryan Reynolds, if you will, back in the day.
That's dead.
But you know him as the voice from a Pixar movie. And so
Is that from Cars?
that's from Cars. Yeah, and he was Doc in Cars, and he was not in Cars 2, 3, or the other ones because he did this thing called dying. And that made it real tough for him to be in the other ones. Also, turns out that if you go to the grocery store with big people and you go to the aisle that has salad dressing or pasta sauce, he also created his own line of pasta sauces and salad dressings that you guys can find in those aisles called Newman's Own, and it has his little face on it from there. The reason I'm telling you is that in a moment it's going to start off talking about this guy, so hopefully this makes your life a little bit easier. Hi, Henry.
Wasn't he the president?
Nope, not every old white guy was a president. A lot of old white guys that were president.
guy
Wait, Mr. Brovicast, you were the president?
Yep, again, there's more than one old white guy out there. I think we're up to 4, but I'm not sure. I have to go check the club.
That's a lot.
You know the other world games?
Starting off. All right.
Alright. Finley, I gotta read it.
When I stepped out into the bright sunlight from the darkness of the movie house, I had only 2 things on my mind: Paul Newman and a ride home. I was wishing I looked like Paul Newman. He looks tough. I don't. But I guess my own looks aren't so bad. I have light brown, almost red hair and greenish gray eyes. I wish they were more gray, because I hate most guys that have green eyes, but I have to be content with what I have. My hair's longer than a lot of boys wear theirs, squared off in back and long at the front and sides, but I'm a greaser, and most of my neighborhood rarely bothers to get a haircut. Besides, I look better with long hair. Gesundheit. By the way, I highlighted the part where it says he looks tough and I don't, and I put me.
8th graders with the last name starting H through S that need to have picture retakes, please head to the LGI. 8th graders last name H through S.
I had a long walk home and no company, but I usually loan it anyway, for no reason except that I like to watch movies undisturbed so I can get into them and live them with the actors. When I see a movie with someone, it's kind of uncomfortable, like having someone read your book over your shoulder. I'm different that way. I mean, my second oldest brother, Soda, and that is his real name. We're going to find out they have a very interesting family. Soda, who is 16 going on 17, never cracks a book at all. And my oldest brother, Daryl, who we call Derry, works too long and hard to be interested in a story or drawing a picture, so I'm not like them. And nobody in our gang digs movies and books the way I do. For a while there, I was the only person in the world that did. So I loaned it. I'm assuming about half of you underlined the part that says never cracks a book at all, and then just wrote your own name out to the side, but we're going to try not to judge you too quick. Henry, you okay? Okay, just making sure on that.
Was that hard?
Also, when he says the word gang, he's not talking about like the scary drive-by shooty shoot bang bang gang. It means more like a crew, a squad, like whatever you guys call your group of friends you hang out with. They just,
Mafia.
whatever you guys call your group of friends, that's what he's calling a gang. So they're not like gang attacking people or anything yet.
Yes.
Soda tries to understand at least, which is more than Derry does. But then Soda's different from anybody. He understands everything almost. Like, he's never hollering at me all the time the way Derry is, or treating me as if I was 6 instead of 14. I love Soda more than I've ever loved anyone, even Mom and Dad. He's always happy-go-lucky and grinning, while Derry's hard and firm and rarely grins at all. But then, Derry's gone through a lot in his 20 years. He's grown up too fast. Soda Pop will never grow up at all. I don't know which way is the best. I'll find out one of these days. Anyway, I went on walking home, thinking about the movie, and then suddenly wishing I had some company. Greasers can't walk alone too much, or they'll get jumped, or someone will come by and scream, "Greaser!" at them, which doesn't make you feel too hot, if you know what I mean. We get jumped by the socials. I'm not sure how you spell it, but it's the abbreviation for the socials, the jet set, the West Side rich kids. It's like the term greaser, which is used to class all us boys on the east side. So that S-O-C-S, where it says socias, as we get into the book, they're going to use that term a lot for like the rich preppy kids. I'm assuming you're probably going to call them socks, and I'll just have to deal with that, which are the things you wear on your feet. But the reason they say soc is because it's short for the word social, which is meaning like the rich kids. Now, we're poorer than the socias and the middle class. I reckon we're wilder too. Not like the socias who jump greasers and wreck houses and throw beer blasts for kicks and get editorials in the paper for being a public disgrace one day and an asset to society the next. Greasers are almost like hoods. We steal things, drive old souped up cars, hold up gas stations, and have gang fights once in a while. I don't mean I do things like that. Real quick, do you guys know what holding up a gas station means? Which when you go in there with like a pew-pew gun and you go, give me all your money, and they pull out all the money and then give it to you. And then yeah, that'd be the word. Yeah. I wasn't sure what term you guys use nowadays, but yeah, robbery. So he hangs out with kids who, rob people. But it's okay, it's just like a kid thing. Interesting group of people. Do things like that. Derry would kill me if I got into trouble with the police. Ever since Mom and Dad were killed in an auto wreck, yeah, he's an orphan, the three of us get to stay together only as long as we behave. So Soda and I stay out of trouble as much as we can, and we're careful not to get caught when we can't. I only mean that most greasers do things like that. Just like we wear our hair long and dress in blue jeans and t-shirts, or leave our shirt tails out and wear leather jackets and tennis shoes or boots. Now, I'm not saying that either socias or greasers are better. That's just the way things are. Now, I could have waited to go to the movies until Derry or Soda Pop got off work. They would have gone with me, or driven me there, or walked along. Although Soda just can't sit still long enough to enjoy a movie, and they bore Derry to death. Derry thinks his life is enough without expecting other people's. Or I could have gotten one of the gang to come along. One of the four boys, Derry and Soda and I have grown up with and consider family. I mean, we're almost as close as brothers. When you grow up in a tight-knit neighborhood like ours, you get to know each other real well. I mean, if I thought about it, I could have called Derry and he would have come by on his way home and picked me up. Or Two-Bit Matthews, one of our gang. He would have come to get me in his car if I'd asked him, but sometimes I just don't use my head. It drives my brother Derry nuts when I do stuff like that, because I'm supposed to be smart. I make good grades and have a high IQ and everything, but I don't use my head. I like walking. I'm assuming that part would apply to many of you too. That I'm supposed to be smart. I make good grades, have a high IQ, but I don't use my head. You might be able to think of 1 or 12 people that fits. I'd about decided I didn't like it so much, though, when I spotted that red Corvair trailing me. I was almost 2 blocks from home then, so I started walking a little faster. I'd never been jumped, but I'd seen Johnny after 4 socias got hold of him, and it wasn't pretty. Johnny was scared of his own shadow after that. Johnny was 16 then. I knew it wasn't any use, though. Fast walking, I mean. Even before the Corvair pulled up beside me and 5 socias got out, I got pretty scared. I'm kind of small for 14, even though I have a good build, and those guys were bigger than me. I automatically hitched my thumbs in my jeans and slouched, wondering if I could get away if I made a break for it. I remember Johnny, his face all cut up and bruised, and I remembered how he had cried when we found him, half conscious in the corner lot. Johnny had it awful rough at home. It took a lot to make him cry. I think I have. So real quick before we get to this thing, the 2 different groups we're going to talk about, there's an old movie called Grease with John Travolta where he does like a little dancing thing. That's what they're referring to here, is like the guys that would have like slick back black hair and like white t-shirts and black leather jackets. That's what the main character is. He's part of this group. And then the ones that they get into fights with are socials, which are like the rich, popular kids at the school. And these kids basically just go around finding these kids and beating them up for the fun of it. Because everyone needs a hobby, and beating up other kids is joyous. Yes. So that's what these people do. And when I was typing in like rich, preppy people, a picture of the dog came up, so I figured, why not throw in a little social dog on there? Because he's got his adorable little scarf going around him.
Is that you?
No, we both have a lot of hair, but his has more on top of it. Oh, the one over there. Sorry. No, that's just another random guy that looks kind of scary. I'm not sure if that's a compliment or not.
Okay.
You could have pointed to that guy up there and said, is that you? But
No.
You went for the...
You covered that one.
You look like the girl on the top.
I'll take that as a compliment. His lovely hair. So this is the Corvair he's talking about that is coming along behind that a bunch of guys just got out of. Do you guys know the difference between a fight and getting jumped?
Yes.
So
Okay.
fight is
Where
like
you
both
fight.
sides, and getting jumped is
It's like kind of like getting mugged.
It's like getting
Yeah.
Getting jumped is like an ambush.
There you go. Yeah, so it's like if all of a sudden like Abby and I had beef and like I was scared that Abby was gonna beat me up, normally a fight I would just confront Abby in the hallway and be like, let's go, and we'd like just run and punch each other. But jumping somebody is when I'm scared of Abby, so I get a bunch of my teacher friends, we wait in the hallway for Abby to walk by, and all 4 of my teacher friends jump out, push Abby to the ground, and then start kicking her while she's down. That's jumping. And then when she gets up, we run away giggling. So that's what happens here is a lot of the socias would jump the greasers. They don't do one-on-one fights. You pull up in a car, 5 of you jump out, grab one kid, beat the crap out of him, and then jump back in your car and go, that guy's a wussy, and then you drive off. They're really tough kids.
I hope it's tough for things you can't one of them.
Yeah.
Oh, if only I could use a thing called irony.
Is it illegal?
Using irony? No, I use it all the time.
No.
Jumping people is like.
No, it's perfectly illegal. The cops are fine with it, as long as you say, I'm sorry when you leave.
Okay.
Oh my good God. I was sweating something fierce, although I was cold. I could feel my palms getting clammy and the perspiration running down my back. I get like that when I'm real scared. I glanced around for a pop bottle or a stick or something. Steve Randall, Soda's best buddy, he once held off 4 guys with a busted pop bottle, but there was nothing. So I just sat there like a bump on a log while they surrounded me. I don't use my head. They walked around slowly, silently, smiling. Short pause. When he says pop bottle, he doesn't mean the plastic ones you get Mountain Dew in. He was talking about they used to have the glass pop bottles, right? The beer bottles you would see now. This is what he's talking about. You smash it, you get a sharp edge, and then you can just run up to Abby and go yank, yank, and you can stab her when you're afraid of Abby taking you down. So that's what he's doing here. I'm scared of her. Look, she keeps giving me a look.
At this time, 8th graders with the last name starting T through Z that need retakes or have not had their picture taken this year, please head to the LGI. Also, this is last call. Any student that needs their picture taken for this year or needs a retake, please head to the LGI.
Oh, got it. None of us are
They walked around me, slowly, silently, smiling. Hey, Grease, one said in an over-friendly voice. We're gonna do you a favor, Greaser. We're gonna cut all that long, greasy hair off. He had a Madras shirt, which is a design you might not know. Oh, sorry. Dang it. Real quick, pause again. When they're talking about right now, when they're getting ready to beat him up and attack him, they're going to an empty lot, which is in their neighborhood, which in neighborhoods is the spot where they just haven't built a house yet. We don't have a lot of those in Fishers because we've built up so many houses. But this would just be an empty lot. And so, or this is in Anderson Hall before they built a house there, where you would have just an empty spot between like houses. That's what this is. He was just walking home in his neighborhood and there's an empty spot called an empty lot.
Hey, that's where I live.
That's where he lives. And then this is what Madras is. It's that sergeant's outfit. He had on a Madras shirt. And I can still see it. Blue Madras. One of them laughed and then cussed me out in a low voice. I couldn't think of anything to say. I mean, there just isn't a whole lot you can say while waiting to get mugged, so I kept my mouth shut. Do you need a haircut, Greaser? The medium-sized blonde pulled a knife out of his back pocket and flipped the blade open. I finally thought of something to say. No! I was backing up, away from that knife. Of course, I backed right into one of them. They had me down in a second. They had my arms and legs pinned down, and one of them was sitting on my chest with his knees on my elbows, and you don't think that hurts? You're crazy. Hiccup, sorry. You're crazy. I could smell English leather shaving lotion and stale tobacco, and I wondered foolishly if I would suffocate before they did anything. I was scared so bad. I was wishing I would. I fought to get loose and almost did for a second. Then they tightened up on me, and the one on my chest slugged me a couple times. So I lay still, swearing at them between gasps. A blade was held against my throat. How'd you like that haircut to begin just below the chin? Well, it occurred to me then, they could kill me. I went wild. I started screaming for soda, dairy, anyone. Someone put his hand over my mouth, and I bit it as hard as I could, tasting the blood running through my teeth. I heard a muttered curse and got slugged again. Then they were stuffing a handkerchief in my mouth. One of them kept saying, "Shut him up, for Pete's sake, shut him up!" Then there were shouts and the pounding of feet, and the socias jumped up and left me lying there, gasping. I lay there and wondered what in the world was happening. People were jumping over me and running by me, and I was too dazed to figure it out. Then someone had me under the armpits and was hauling me to my feet. It was Derry. "Hey, you all right, pony boy?" He was shaking me, and I wished he'd stop. I was dizzy enough anyway. I could tell it was Derry, though, partly because of the voice, and partly because Derry is always rough with me without meaning to be. "I'm okay. Quit shaking me, Derry. I'm okay." He stopped instantly. I'm sorry. He wasn't really. Derry isn't ever sorry for anything he does. It seems funny to me that he should look just exactly like my father and act exactly the opposite from him. My father was only 40 when he died, and he looked 25. A lot of people thought Derry and Dad were brothers instead of father and son, but they only looked alike. My father was never rough with anyone without meaning to be. When he's in the process of getting jumped and beat up, and he's laying there, he mentions there are two smells that he can smell when the guy's on top of him. Tobacco's one, and the other is?
Old leather.
That's crazy.
So old leather shaving lotion. I did not, sorry Tommy, I did not bring tobacco this time. You do sound disappointed on that one.
Mommy, it's fine. I also have my pocket.
You'll just have to use Henry's.
No, you can't say that.
So I have brought in some English leather for you guys. It's cologne.
Oh, it's not actual leather?
It's not actual leather. It's just called English leather. And I have little cotton balls so you guys, I'm going to put it on there and give you a chance to give it a snort. And then if you want to know what tobacco smells like, you're just going to have to go to someone's locker at the end of class.
He's joking, camera.
Your brother
Totally.
snorted?
He snorted a pixie stick.
If you make sure it has to go,
He said that.
let's put a couple of drops in there for you guys.
Yeah, get it. Wait, you put your nose juice in there?
Yes. I don't know what that means, but okay. Now you can give it a sniff. This is what he was able to smell.
It's real good,
This was
Abby.
their form of like cologne.
Yeah. You can eat them.
I've been told it smells like grandpa's. I've been told it smells like barber shops.
Does it smell like you?
I can smell from here, yeah, but I
Apparently it smells like me, so it must smell awesome.
Wow.
Maybe this smells really good.
Yeah, that really does smell like a barber.
Baby powder.
It smells like baby powder or shaving cream.
This is what dudes used to wear to try to attract the lady folks. You would give this a big
Sour.
splash. And
What do you smell?
Ew, you were not with anyone like that.
It smells like baby powder.
apparently it's not work on all lady folks.
Y'all, you better not start wearing after love next time. I will.
So that is what he's smelling, along with the tobacco. If you would like to see how effective this is with the lady folks, if you would like to come by at the end of class, we can give you a little splash splash. And then you can just walk straight up to those ladies and go, hey.
Y'all do that.
Let me know how that goes. What's
I
up?
will slap y'all.
I think it's
Caroline, you're my perfect.
Home children, if you would like to smell it, put your nose right up there to the screen and you just give that a good snort. There you go.
Imagine grandpa.
Imagine baby powder and shaving cream.
Baby powder, shaving cream, and apparently
apparently
me, and a mixture of all kinds of things.
Smells like you.
Or I could show you Madison's face after she smelled it, and we can find out exactly how good it is.
yes.
Tomorrow, we will pick up and keep going, but I figure that's a good stopping point for now. So, in case anyone's needing to come over and get a little splash.
Henry was asking if I was
Where are we at?
that president.
No. I'll just say, right?
Wait, no, look at Kamala Harris.